Hey guys, Wednesday design video, builder grade house that we showed on our Passion for Craft podcast. Someone challenged me to fix it, so I did. Let me know what you think. I think it improves it, and really, it wasn't too hard. Let me know what you think. Okay guys, working on this house. It was something we had talked about on our podcast, Passion for Craft, and I was saying that this was from the early crap period, which was kind of an ugly comment, but I feel like this is kind of the builders, throw anything at it, make it work mess that causes our built environment to be rather ugly. And so what I wanted to do was take the challenge of how would I fix this? How would I make this better looking or presentable, but still also try not to kill the budget? And so, first of all, I've separated the windows and changed the window, arrangement, keeping the windows the same size, still keeping shutters on them. Obviously, if you wanted to make this nicer, you would do things in each of these different areas that are better. For instance, these would be operable shutters instead of being shutters that are kind of, screwed to the wall. But I'm trying to speak out of both sides of my mouth, trying to talk for the builder, making it prettier, but also, for, someone else if they wanted to improve the house. You notice too, I've taken out this gable end over here, and I've done kind of a hipped roof. We got a hip roof up here. I'm going to kind of keep it the same. They had a really goofy detail that the windows were paired together, and then they had a fan light over top, but it isn't even as wide as these things. And so I'm not really sure what they were thinking or how they were trying to put that together. So my hip roof just gets rid of that gable and gets rid of that window just because it's unnecessary and kind of silly. And again, I'm separating the windows. You can put shutters on these too if you want. I just tried to build some hierarchy and kind of higher presence. You'll notice the main thing I did was fix the door. Essentially, they've got this door, and if you just look at this house, the dominant feature is this garage door. And so, some people have called it a snout nose. It's not what I would call a snout nose, where the garage actually is out furthest and it sticks out like a pig snout. But this is actually, just an overwhelming feature. And so you can with garage doors, I've broken them into two. I've also put lights in the top, okay? These are things that even inexpensive garage door manufacturers are doing. But instead of being a white wall kind of a buffer, it softens it a little bit to put lights in it. It makes it a little bit less commercial and strip mall looking, and makes it more homey. And so this would still be a single garage door that opens up, but it's kind of broken into two parts. And you'll see too that I've elevated the front door and put a pediment over top. You also see the landscaping I've done. They've got their current driveway is for 3 cars wide. That doesn't really, with that much concrete up front, it's hard to create a homey atmosphere. And so I've even added a little sidewalk here just to build presence around this door. That little pediment now builds over top of the garage door so that this gains dominance. I put a little, planters on each side. I've done it where there's like bullseye glass in the thing above. These would just be brackets that would support it. I was thinking, you could do columns and a pediment, but most builders aren't going to do that. So again, in an effort to manage costs and keep things normal or without raising too much cost with these changes, I'm saying that they could still use the same door, just do a simple pediment over top, and that, again, just draws your eye here. The reason I did this small window here is just to convey kind of a 1920s kind of feel where you'd have a 5-bay house and then a small window over top. Typically it was a bathroom, but it harkens back and kind of, it is nostalgic and gives kind of this homier feel to it. The other, simple thing I did was I've right now the windows go right to the top, and they've got a 9/6 configuration. And what I'm doing is I'm just going to bring, some trim down in here to create this kind of classical entablature. And so you'll see that my entablature runs down here. The top, this would essentially be your frieze, and it sits right on your windows. They have their own casing, which would be the architrave, so it kind of works classically or traditionally. But that, I think, is a better hat on this house than what's currently there. So, right, I've really just moved things around. I've deleted that window by going with the hip. I've separated those windows. I've separated those windows. I've changed the design on the garage door, elevated the door. I've lifted this window up and then just changed the trim details. So I really haven't done anything that's, gonna cost thousands and thousands of dollars more, but I think this absolutely improves the look of it. And it's intentional, right? This is, the door, this is an afterthought. Well, I guess they can get in, come in the side. This is a, let's give them a front walkway. Let's really get them up here. And if they need an extra space for cars, there would be some kind of delineation, maybe a change in material, so we just didn't have so much concrete there. I did put a belt course in here because I think the gap between the top of the garage door and everything else is pretty tall. A belt course is kind of a typical traditional detail that delineates and helps the eye form and read the house. This would be almost like at a floor line, so it helps you kind of read the parts and pieces. I think it helps. It kind of ties this roof together with this, and I think there's little details. This had coining in the brickwork. There was just kind of a pattern they'd put in there. I don't think you need that. You could put coining in this thing, but really, I think building up the front door is the main thing. That's and then softening this, I think, really helps this house. And so this is no longer from the early crap period. This is something that has some charm, and production builders could do more of this. I think we'd have happier neighborhoods. Okay, guys, helped, right? Just separating the windows, just kind of de-emphasizing that gable end on the right, elevating the door, softening the garage door. Right? It helped. So hopefully you realize that by practicing some traditional details and elements, it really can make a big difference on our house. And it isn't too much work. It shouldn't cost that much more. But let me know what you guys think. I'm Brent Hull. Thanks for watching.